Hi, my name is Jamie Lewis, and welcome back to thebassist.net. We're in week number 7 of our 8-week quest called The Game of Tones, and today we're going to talk about slap. Something I get asked about all the time is how do you dial in a good slap tone? How do you compress it? How do you EQ it? What frequencies do you pull out? Which ones do you boost? I'm going to show you all of that stuff today. Just like last week, I'm going to do so in Ableton Live. There's a link popping up right now. You can download the Ableton session that I'm using today and plug in your bass and do all that. And the reason why I'm doing this all with plugins is because it's just easier to show you on screen. And also, I can press save. I can come back to later, and I can share it with you. So let's just go ahead and jump right in. Right here, I've got some EQ going into compression. Right, that's pretty much it in its bassist form. If I turn these settings off, right, and I just play the bass dry, it doesn't sound bad. It's just this has so much more life to it. So let me show you what I'm doing. First of all, this is, I know you can't see it. I'm on the other side of the screen. This is just a jazz bass, 2 single coil pickups, and what I was playing right there, both volume knobs were on 100%. Tone knob was all the way up, nothing getting rolled off. So the jazz bass has a really good sound for slap, I feel, already. So it doesn't need too much, but let me just show you what I'm doing. Bypass that guy right there. So compression is taming the dynamics. It's taming the peaks, which is awesome for bass, or for slap bass, because it's all peaks. Right? These are all really aggressive, snappy sounds that are louder than my finger style playing, right? So compression works really well to help tame the dynamic, and it has a very pleasing sound. Now, normally, it adds this sucking sound. This, you can hear that too. Right? It has this sucking sound that, again, might not be very pleasing depending on the genre or the technique that you're using, but for slap, I think it works to our benefit. And I'll explain a little bit more of that in a second. But general settings here, if I look over here, I've got my ratio. Over here, these macros are set so I can adjust these on my iPad without having to click on them. So my ratio is set for about between 3 to 5. 3 to 1 to 5 to 1 is what I typically go for. You can see this is 4.23 to 1. So take that. The attack, I like having the attack set anywhere between 4 and 6. If I go too low, here, watch this. If I go all the way down almost, you can see the compressor is starting too early. And so that sucking sound is beginning right on my attack. I want it to be after the attack. That's called the transient. So after I snap on that string, I want it to start compressing, but not too early. So what did I say? 4, 5, 6. Right, I think that's a really cool sound. Let me go try 4. Somewhere in the 4. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit much. 5 is much better. Threshold here, I'm only adjusting this so much that keep an eye on this guy right here and this meter right here. As I adjust the threshold, this right here is too much gain reduction, right? So I like to have it set, whoops, right here. Now, the numbers are arbitrary because of the bass that I'm using and how hard I'm playing and where I have the gain set on my preamp and all that. So you'll have to adjust the threshold on your own. But I like to see it do about 6 to 9 dB of gain reduction. I feel that's a good number for slap bass. Now, this plugin, again, this is a stock Ableton plugin, so it doesn't have the VU meters where I can see. So I just have to kind of use my ear. But that this yellow box that you're going to see start moving, that's letting me know that I'm doing compression. The output is also an arbitrary number. Remember, when you compress, you're technically making your volume quieter. So then I have to do, as you can see, 7.09 dB of gain boosting after the amount of compression that I've done. So you'll have to adjust threshold and output, depending on your bass and how hard you play and all that stuff. But the attack time and the ratio, I think, are pretty common. You might have a release knob on your compressor also. Mine does, and I have it set for auto, so I don't even know what it's set at. But I like the way it sounds, so that's good for me. That's pretty much all on the compression side. On the EQ side, I'm doing what's called a smiley face, right? So you can see I'm dipping out the mids and I'm boosting up the treble, and I've got a little bit of a roll off here on the low end, which doesn't really matter because I'm already rolling off everything below 70, because if you remember from last week, I got on my low end here that I'm processing separately. I know, confusing. Anyways, let's go back over here. So to find these frequencies, again, it'll be different depending on your bass, what type of wood it's made out of, what type of pickups. But the idea is somewhere in the mid-range, you're going to want to scoop out, and somewhere in the top end, you're going to want to boost up. That's the concept. So I decided my bass sounded worst at 677, right? This guy right here. How I found that is I did a big boost, right? And I just went fishing for it. As I move this knob, you can see this guy's going to start to move. If I can do this with one hand. And I didn't want to adjust anything down here because I thought this stuff sounded good. So leave that where it's at. But somewhere over here, yeah, that just sounds really bad. I don't feel like that's helping me at all. So now that I've found those frequencies, I cut them down, and I don't remember exactly where it was, but it was somewhere in this ballpark. And that's just kind of getting rid of the information that I don't need. And then to get that zing, that's this band right here, and that's at about 4,000 hertz, 4K, 4.17 is what mine says. And I'm just doing a 4.84 dB boost. Yeah, 3 to 5 dB just to get that zing in there. If I get rid of that band, if I just delete it, you can see, it's still totally fine, but this just makes it pop. Right? So those are my settings, and again, I'm going to make that downloadable for you guys to check out. Let's just go ahead and listen to this in context, because you might be thinking, dude, that's too compressed, or there's too much top end. I don't like the way that sounds. Keep in mind, right, when you're getting tones and all that, it's not just what it sounds like to you, but it's how it's going to sound in the mix, right? So check this out. I'm going to play along to this track right here. Actually, I'm not going to play along. I don't know why I said that. I pre-recorded a bass line already, and I'm going to turn on and off these settings. So when I press this guy right here, you can hear just dry bass. And when I do this, you're going to hear what it sounds like with the compression and the EQ on. So here, let's just take a listen. So you can hear what it's doing, right? It sort of helps it blend without it getting lost, And also, as I'm playing, it just makes it easier to play because I don't feel like I have to work as hard. That's the compression of the EQ, obviously. I'll let you hear what it sounds like totally on its own. Let me get rid of these tracks. And if I play the same section, you can hear just the bass. Right, it's got a bit of a honky sound. So that's pretty much how I process bass guitar when I'm slapping. Now, the important thing for you to remember is this, that the numbers are ambiguous, meaning don't put your threshold exactly where I put mine. Don't boost or cut the same exact frequencies I did because they're going to be different for you. Your bass is made of a different wood, a different body, a different neck, a different fingerboard. You have different gauge strings. You have different pickups. You attack with a different intensity than I do. Everything, all those variables are so different, and so they're going to affect what the number is. Now, you can use my numbers as a general place to go searching for them, but just know your numbers will be different than mine. And if you still need help with your slap technique and tone, go ahead and leave me a comment right down here or send me an email. I'll get back to you. Or come visit me at thebassist.net. And if you haven't yet, please check out our membership pricing. It's super affordable, and I greatly appreciate your support. Because of you, I get to do this. So thank you so much for your help. Also, don't forget to follow the Tone Tuesday hashtag on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, and I'm on all those places. Twitter and Instagram is @JamieLewis, Facebook is @JamieLewisBass, and I'd love to connect with you in any of those places. So, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next week as we conclude the series finale of Game of Tones. Hey, if you like what I do, please click on the subscribe button right here. And if you really like what I do, then click over here to see how affordable it is to join me at thebassist.net. But if you just want the free stuff, then click here to check out whatever YouTube's sophisticated robots think you should watch next. I'm sure they know what's best for you.